so that any water runoff or buildup can also go into a dry well, and then we'll have the French drain towards the gate going into it. And let's get to it. And here's a perfect example of how not to install a French drain to fix a flooded yard. You see this? Got the black corrugated pipe in the ground, but since they didn't put any filter cloth around it, no sock around it, no rocks, it's just all dirt. So what is that going to do? Nothing at all. So please do it right the first time. Use PVC, use sock around it, use filter cloth, and rock. And here's how it looks so far dug out. Downhill all the way to this corner, going over to here, all the way down to here, and then starting this way, going down is where it's going to end up being deeper for the dry well. We're making this whole part of the French drain actually French drain / dry well, so that way it can get rid of as much water as possible, as quickly as possible. And here we go. When you are digging on the island, you can only go about 2.5 to 3 feet down before you hit water. Okay, and that's as deep as you can go, because as you can see, if you go any deeper, it just starts eating away, and it'll make itself bigger and bigger. So that's about where you want to be, so that way if the yard starts filling up with water or anything, the water can easily start filtrating to the water table and dissipate a lot faster, especially let's say it's high tide or something like that. Well, obviously the water's going to stay at a certain level, but as soon as it starts going down, then it's all going to go down a lot faster with it. So instead of water sitting everywhere for like 2, 3, 4 days, stuff like that, it'll end up disappearing within 24 hours. And you see this here? This is how you know you're good enough for a dry well. When the water is coming in, that's when you stop. Otherwise, it's just going to keep getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. And here we go. We have the left side completely dug out for the French drain. All the way around. And all the way down. Super deep. Instead of normally making a normal French drain, just a small dry well, I made this as deep as an entire dry well, and then just ended it into the water table. And here's the right side. We have everything bermed up over here on the side. Got the French drain going all the way down. Got to fix the berms over here, all the way down to the dry well, which is at the water table. So it's exactly how it should be done. Now to filter cloth and pipe it all. All right, and now we have the left side all filter clothed up. All the way to the dry well. The reason you put filter cloth in is you want to make sure that all the dirt, sediments, and everything else stays out of your French drain, so that way your French drain can last at least 5, 10 plus years. So you always want to make sure that you put filter cloth down. Here's the right side, all filter clothed up. Same thing, you want to make sure the filter cloth is in, that way it helps extend the life of your French drain. Now to pipe it, and make sure everything's running the way it should be. Now I'm going to be putting a catch basin in on the beginning of this French drain. You make sure you drill holes all up into the catch basin, so that way the water can drain and facilitate down the line. You want to make sure when you put the French drain pipe in, the perforated pipe, you sock it for extra protection to make sure the rocks and sediment do not go into the pipe, because you're going to be putting rock around all the French drain. But you also make sure your holes are down. The holes are down for the simple reason you want water to hurry up, go into the pipe and evac to the dry well, instead of having to build up 4 inches to then go into the pipe and evac to the dry well. You want to get rid of the water as soon as possible. Now, continue piping. And this is exactly how it will look. You have the holes drilled in on the bottom. You put a little bit of rock down there just to extra filtration, give it some space, and then you hook it up with a solid coupling, so that way it fits into this nice and snug, and you start piping and run it out and get your level and make sure everything is how it's supposed to go. All right, and here we go. Here is the left side completely piped out. As you can see, I got it going downhill to level here. Downhill to level here. And I guess in the corner. Downhill to level over here. And then of course, a long line before it goes to the dry well. And we have it completely downhill to level. That's why I dug this whole section, literally the depth of the dry well, so that way the whole yard has the greater chance to just absorb all the water, so that way it doesn't flood and end up going into their house again like it did before. All right, and here we go, is the right side of the house. As you can see, I also have the catch basin in here. Put a little bit of rock under it, put the catch basin in. Make sure you have holes drilled in it. All right, you always wanna make sure you do that. Have your coupling so that way it fits it nice and tight. Sometimes a little too tight. There we go. Snaps in. It's really on there good. And we have the catch basin, and then we just run the pipe to the dry well. Here we go, and now the right side is completely piped up. As you can see, I have the catch basin. I have the level here. Everything is downhill completely. And all the way. Come over here to the next section. Still downhill to level. And the final part that goes into the dry well itself, which we just let it overhang because it's all perforated anyways. Voila. Everything is downhill to level. Now, just gotta rock it all up, finish the berm, and make it all look pretty. And as you can see, it ended up raining last night. I just got the rock in this morning. I came here to check on the trenches, and everything is completely dry, which means the French drain is working exactly how it is supposed to. Not a single drop of water is left in the trench at all. Everything has drained out just the way it was supposed to. Completely empty, even, well, a little bit still at the end of this dry well because it is in the water table. But other than that, it's done exactly what it was supposed to do. Now, to rock it all and make it all look beautiful. And this is how it's going to look at the end when everything is done. And so here's the process. Fill it up all the way, fold it over, so now it's one big unit, safe from any dirt and debris from getting into it. So it gives it different lines of defense. You have the sock around the pipe, and you have the filter cloth on all the sides and wrapped around, and then you put the decorative rock right back over. And this is the right side now, completed. All the rock put back. Everything looks like I was never even here. Dry well would be right up in here, but you can't even tell. Just like that. And here's the left side as we've started. As you can see, the same thing will be on the right side. Fill it up to the catch basin. Make sure the rock's down at a certain level. Fold all the filter cloth over, encapsulize the entire French drain so it can work at 100% efficiency. And keep it going. And here's the finished project. Catch basin in. Everything's back the way it was. Stepping stones. Got the berm. Got everything completed. On this side as well. Everything is done. Just as it should be. Another job well done by Jersey Shore Drainage Solutions. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. Check the description below the videos. Also join our Facebook group. And until the next one.